Thanks for checking out this World of Warcraft Legion beta video here on G4G. So today I'm going to be taking a look at a Guardian Druid and just kind of give you my first impressions. By the way, if you're on this quest, don't try to kill that dude over there. Those stairs actually are for decoration. You can't go up those stairs. So, here is my Guardian Druid. He is a pre-made. He is not a character copy of my Druid from live. So this is a starting 100 Guardian Druid. Mostly greens, got a blue trinket in there, but I do have my artifacts, which is the Claws of Ursoc. So I now currently look like this. And if you want to see your tree, you just shift right click it, and that's where you will get your little Path of the Titans thing that was promised oh so long ago. So this is your artifact tree. You start off with Rage of the Sleeper. Unleashes the Rage of Ursoc for 10 seconds, preventing 25% of all damage you take and reflecting 12k, almost 13k back as nature damage to your attackers. That is this right here, Rage of the Sleeper. Father, the Sleeper has awoken. God, I hope you people know what that is. Iron Claws is your next point. Increases armor by 5%, and then you can start branching off into Wild Flesh, Vicious Bites, and your biggies that you could eventually come around to, Adaptive Fur. Taking elemental damage has a chance to grant you 10% damage reduction for 15 seconds against the elements that caused that damage. Man, that brings me back to Molten Core and Onyxian Fire Resistance, and even so much as Wrath of the Lich King with Frost Resistance. Oh, and oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Gory Fur. Mangle has a 15% chance to reduce the rage cost of your next Iron Fur or Mark of Ursul by 50%. We call him Usul. It is the sound of the wind on the plains. Actually, I don't remember the rest of that quote, but sound of the running water? I forget what Usul was. I shall be Paul Muad'Dib. Mangle is a 15% chance. It's the rage cost. So its default is 45 and 45. Embrace of the Nightmare. Now, this is the icon of the trinket that dropped out of Serpent Shrine that would reinforce whatever mode the Druid is in. Like, it did stuff if you were in Bear and did stuff if you were Resto. I have this item on my live Druid. I forget the name of it, but it dropped in Serpent Shrine. Embrace of the Nightmare. While Rage of the Sleeper is active, you deal 25% increased damage, gain 25% increased leech, and are immune to all effects that cause the loss of control of your character. I almost see these as very, very situational depending upon the bosses. So it's going to be interesting to see how these things play out. I currently have 75 artifact power, and I do not have a fire or blood artifact relic, and I do not have a life one. I do, however, in my handy-dandy bag o' bags, have History of the Aeons that I just picked up. But more on that in a moment. So, I'm going to get into a little bit of combat here. Now, you'll see that pulverize is here on my bar, but it is not lighting up, despite the fact that I have thrash stacks. That is because somewhere along the line, I got respecced, and I no longer have pulverize. Don't know what happened there. I now have a different spec in that talent slot. And I was like, is my game bugged or something? And maybe I'm just a little too far away from the mob and my AoE is hitting and pulverize. And no, I mean, I was humping my mob and I'm going, my pulverize is not coming available. Why? And I hit P, and I'm like, it's not in my book. It's not where it should be. I have to prowl. What the hell happened? Well, more on that in a moment, because somehow I got respecced out of it, and I don't know why. So, yeah, History of the Aeons. If I use it, I have gained 75 artifact power from my Claws of Ursoc. I now have 150. But I need 325 to get out to the next tier. We had things like Perpetual Spring, which is the bark skin icon. Vicious Bites, increased damage dealt by Mangle. Bear Hug, increased the chance to trigger Gore by 5%. So this is what the tree looks like. Reinforced Fur, Iron Fur increases armor by an additional 4%. Man, that brings you back to TBC Bear, where everything was armor. Ursoc's Endurance increased the duration of Barkskin, Iron Fur, and Marker Uso by 0.5 seconds. Obviously, as you get higher in ranks, that one looks good, but 0.5 doesn't seem like a lot, but be prepared to dump into that. Sharpened Instincts. Survival Instincts reduces all damage you take by an additional 3%. That seems pretty nice. Roar of the Crowd. Stampeding Roar increases your movement speed by an additional 5% per ally hit, up to a maximum of 25%. That seems like a friggin' Heroes of the Storm talent. That's an odd one to see in World of Warcraft. Thrash reduces the movement speed of its target, so that's the old disease that we used to be able to spread. Jagged Claws increase damage dealt by Thrash by 5%. Bestial Fortitude increase your stamina by 1. That one seems really good. And Mauler, increase the critical strike chance of Maul. So, I mean, there's a pretty good variety. Whether or not we get all of the power to get the majority of these things, I don't know. You may have to go towards an epic at some point. You know, decide which one of these three you want to work to and then fill in after that. But I've gotten a few of these 75 artifact powers along the way. So you start off with like Lord of the Rings and the Camel Hoarder, and you have your sets. So let's take a look at the talent tree. Now, I'm not seeing anything above 100, which is kind of sad. Hoping maybe I would see 110 here, but Brambles. Sharp brambles protect you, absorbing and reflecting up to 1.1k damage from each attack. While Barkskin is active, the brambles also deal 1.2k nature damage to all nearby enemies every second. Bristling Fur. This is what I have. Bristle your fur, causing you to generate rage based off of damage taken for 8 seconds. Actually, I don't know if that's what I initially picked, because I don't see that anywhere. I think I might have had my talents reworked by some kind of a thing, because I don't think I did Bristling Fur. This is not here. Blood Frenzy. Thrash also generates 2 rage each time it deals damage. Oh, by the way, interesting thing, you'll notice that I have no books in my bags over here, and there's this red tooltip. Talents can only be changed while in a rested XP area. Nice that maybe I can do this for free, but bad if you change your stuff for a boss. What is that going to mean for raids and dungeons and everything? That's a little intimidating there to think about that. Sit for a second. So that's a little bothersome about that. It's good and bad. Guttural Roars increase the radius of Stampeding Roar by 200%, the radius of Incapacitating Roar by 100%, and reduces the cooldown of Stampeding Roar by 50%. Maybe really good for a lot of movement fights, a lot of like drop the stuff in a corner and then run out of it kind of a deal. Displacer Beast, we know this one teleports you up to 20 yards forward, activating cat form and increasing your movement speed by 50%. And the one that I always tend to like, Wild Charge, grants you a movement ability based on the form that you are in. Non-shapeshifted, fly to an ally's position. I used to use that one a lot on Hagara in Dragon Soul. That was love that one. Flying Bear Bomb. Bear form, charge to an enemy, immobilizing them for 4 seconds. Cat form, travel form, you leap forward. That says 0 yards. That's a little scary. And aquatic form, your swim speed. Balance affinity, feral affinity, and restoration. So this is what used to be like your... what benefits do you want to get if you're not tanking? Like, what do you want to bump up? And now this is actually like part of your tanking. Balance affinity. Increase the range of all your abilities by 5 yards. You also get Moonkin Form, Star Surge, Lunar Strike, Solar Wrath, and Sunfire. Feral affinity. Increase your movement speed by a default 15%. It's a real shame that we don't have that as part of our default kit anymore. You also learn Shred, Rip, Ferocious Bite. Your energy regeneration is increased by 35%. Now, I don't know if Shred, Rip, and Ferocious Bite would be available to you as a bear. Maybe not. There goes a Druid, who is also a bear. He's AoE tanking. Restoration Affinity. This is where you gain Ysera's Gift, which is actually something I've had on live ever since MOP. Heals you for 3% of your maximum health every 5 seconds. If you're at full health, a random nearby ally gets it. Sort of similar to Malfurion's free pot that he gets in Heroes of the Storm that just procs some random people. So that's what it's like to do Moonfire as a bear. So yeah, I can actually Moonfire in bear form, which is good because we do not have Fairy Fire anymore. So the ranged pull is no longer there. So the fact that we can do that in bear form is great, but the regrowth is not. And the Swiftmen is not. And I don't need an extra swipe there. Something's gone a little weird. Also, Incarnation Guardian of Ursoc is a little bit different, but we'll be getting to that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. So, the passive is really good, but unfortunately, none of these are castable in bear form, like that free healing touch that we have now when you get the Mangle crits. Mighty Bash, we know what that is. Masked Entanglement, Typhoon, we know what these are. Nothing changed here. Soul of the Forest, Mangle generates 5 more rage and deals 50% more damage. Incantation, Guardian Ursoc, 3-minute cooldown. An improved bear form that reduces the cooldown on all melee abilities and growl to 1.5. Causes Mangle to hit up to 3 targets. Lasts 30 seconds. And Galactic Guardian. Your damage has a 5% chance to trigger a free automatic Moonfire on that target. When this occurs, the next Moonfire you cast, this, generates 15 rage. Now, back in the day, Guardian of Ursoc was something I liked a lot. I called it Armor Bear. Even did a little song of it based on the old Spider-Man theme song. Armor Bear, does what he wants, he don't care. Eats a fish, climbs a tree, bees whatever he wants to be. Watch out, man, here comes the Armor Bear. Well, now when you hit it, you don't Armor Bear anymore, you Glow Fart Bear. So, Glow Bright Bear over here is now Armor Bear. You don't change when you do Ursoc, at least visually. So, maybe I'll go Galactic Guardian. I don't know. Now we have Earth Warden. Every 6 seconds you gain a charge of Earth Warden, reducing the damage of the next auto attack you take by 30%. Earth Warden may have up to 3 charges. So, kind of similar to what Pulverize used to do. What's that? I kind of like Bear Moonfire. That's pretty cool. I'm putting the wrong key there. There are a few. I'm not too sure if it's been fixed or not, but I know back in Dragon Soul, a hunter friend of mine in my guild would be able to do the clone toy where you clone the look of somebody. And being a hunter, if they cloned my bear, they were basically shooting arrows out of their butt, which was kind of funny. So right now, I have Guardian of Elune. Mangle increases the duration of your next Iron Fur or Mark of Ursol. Okay. What am I still in combat with? I don't know. There we go. Out of combat. So right now I have Guardian of Elune. Mangle increases the duration of your next Iron Fur or Mark of Ursol by 2 seconds, or the healing of your next Frenzied Regen by 20%. Well, it sounds decent. And there's also Survival of the Fittest. Reduces the cooldown of Barkskin Survival Instincts by 33. Again, this one I see like maybe a lot of people doing Guardian of Elune for day-to-day stuff, and Survival of the Fittest depending upon the boss, which again makes me scared about you have to be in a rested XP area. Here is something that's messed up. You see I have pulverize on my bar, which meant I had pulverize. I don't know why it's over on Rend and Tear. Maybe they changed something. While in bear form, Thrash also increases your damage dealt to the target and reduces your damage taken from the target by up to 2% per application of Thrash. So this is basically a keep the Thrash on it move. Lunar Beam summons a beam of lunar light on a 1.5 minute cooldown. Summons a beam of lunar light at your location, dealing a whole bunch of arcade damage and healing you for a whole bunch. 114k, and right now I have 555. So that's a fifth or so of my hit points there. That's pretty solid. Moon Bear. And then there's my Pulverize, which is the Pulverize we know. A devastating blow that consumes 2 stacks of Thrash on your target to deal damage and reduce all damage you take by 8% for 20 seconds. Well, the thing is, Thrash now stacks up to 3 times. Because that is our bleed now. Strikes all nearby enemies, dealing X amount of bleed damage, and an additional bleed damage over time when applied from bear form. This effect stacks 3 times. So right now, for this, it's about a 6-second cooldown. So to get to 2 stacks is 12. At least for me. Maybe this will be dependent upon haste later on. Here, it lasts for 20 seconds, so you can maintain a full set of Pulverize uptime. I mean, at least right now with the haste that I have as a level 100. Because it takes 12 seconds to apply it, but it's up for 20. So it is definitely possible to maintain 2 stacks, 2 rows of dots at all time, 2 rows of Thrash at all time, and then, consume the 2 and still leave 1 there, and probably it'd be an easy pattern to build it up to 3, consume 2, and then, after that initial curve, you're going to be able to maintain Pulverize and have a good amount of stacks. And we'll go through the spellbook here because we've got a few new things in our kit. One thing is Mark of the Wild is gone. If we look at that Moonkin as it goes by, Moonkin form, Lay Surge. No Mark of the Wild. I have no Mark of the Wild. That disappoints me. I miss, as a bear, and having access to combat res and innervate, I, throughout my time of being a fairly skilled guardian bear, have pulled off some heroic battle reses and innervates and everything through the years. When they took Innervate away from me, that took away some of the fun utility I had as a druid that was doing bear tanking. You know, I still have the battle res and everything, but I really do miss my Innervate. So, bark skin, there's my bristling fur, which isn't on my bar. Put it there. Catform Dash Dreamwalk teleports the caster to the Emerald Dreamway. This is our class hall. Entangling Roots. These gnomes, these chromies, they bother me. Entangling Roots, Frenzied Regen, heals you for 40% of all the damage taken in the last 5 seconds, over 3 seconds, minimum of 5% of your health. So it's not a hot exactly anymore. It's kind of like a damage redirect. It's a little strange on that. Growl, Healing Touch, heals a friendly target, blah blah blah. Pretty sure that's not going to be castable in bear form anymore. Yeah, I can't do that while shape. Wow, it doesn't even unshape-shift you. Are you kidding? That's fairly big. Incapacitating Roar invokes the spirit of Ursol to let loose a deafening roar, incapacitating a bunch of targets. Is that one of my talents? That was a talent, I swear. And now it's not. Maybe they did change a bunch of things since I was last in the beta. Overwatch has been consuming a lot of time here. There's my incantation. There's what I like to call Armor Bear. Iron Fur. Increase the armor by 75% for 8 seconds. Multiple uses of this ability may overlap. So that's this right here. It's a nice little armor boost. And interestingly enough, you can still AoE at combat, which is cool. Mangle, Mark of Ursol reduces magical damage taken by 30%. So now we finally have some value against magic. We can make the choice of spending Rage for Iron Fur, or spending it for Ursol, or doing both. My Mass Entanglement, my Maul. Maul's the target, doesn't say anything about extra damage based on bleed. Moonfire, usable while in bear form. Prowl, Rage of the Sleeper. That's my claws. Rebirth, still have it. Regrowth, not castable in bear. Rejuve, not castable in bear. Remove Corruption. Revive, Skull Bash, castable in cat and bear. Stampeding Roar, Survival Instincts. Swift Mend, not castable in bear. Thrash Swipe, Travel, Wild Charge, Gore, new passive. Using Thrash, Swipe, or Moonfire has a 15% chance to reset the cooldown on Mangle, and to cause it to generate additional rage. That's a trinket. There's Guardian of Loon. So I can see a lot of druids potentially doing some weak auras on that, wanting to know when they're when that's up. I don't have any like the mangle bars, you know, when you would get the cheap mangle or the free mangle. I wonder if that's maybe just something I haven't turned on yet. Mastery is maximum health and healing received. Also increases your attack power, so nothing about armor there. Thick Hide reduces all damage taken by 10%, and there is my Ysera's Gift. Do I not have... What in the hell is that? Combat, target a target, loss of control, display, raid self-highlight, status text, player chat bubble, social, action bars, names, raid profiles, display incoming heals, display power bars, only dispellable buffs. Yeah, I'm not seeing that your class or your character is doing fancy things kind of a deal. Huh. Strange. I wonder if that is now out of the game. I certainly hope it is not. I dread Captain Tattersail. So there is an overlook so far, a brief little overlook at what is going on with, there he is. With Guardian so far in the Legion beta, based on what I think has been readjusted for myself, maybe we are in a state of flux. I'm not unhappy about it by any stretch. Like when Pandaria first was in beta, man, I was really scared about my fat bear because threat was a major problem, but it turned out they admitted threat was not caked into the abilities yet, which was an accident, and they intended it to. I came really close to switching to my prot pally in that. So far, I like my Guardian. I think he's fun. I can't wait to actually transfer my own up here for the raid gear that it would be like bringing over and everything. Survivability still seems pretty good. We're very AoE now. I mean, so much of our single target is gone. I mean, I have my range pull Moonfire. It's nice to keep up a dot in combat, but I don't think it's a real necessary part of the rotation per se. But we're just so AoE, which does get me a little concerned if we're tanking around crowd control, because
no sign of Sylvanas in the hills.
I have nothing to do around crowd control. Swipe is an AoE. Thrash is an AoE. Everything else that's single target is all rage based other than Moonfire. And I sure as shit don't think I'm going to be keeping threat with Moonfire and everything, so little concerned about what may happen as a single target tank, critical strike and versatility, haste and mastery. I think I would go for that. Ugly hat. Ooh, that's a nasty looking thing right there. That is definitely one of my concerns. I'm a little concerned about my single target over here. If I were to look at cat form, you see I'm missing those abilities that the cat affinity would give me, which is like your default cat kit. And glyphs are gone, so I don't change colors now when I shift. This is me. I probably would get pulverize back, just because it's now been beat into part of my rotation. Bristling fur, I may go for blood frenzy, but leveling brambles might be a little bit better. Just, pull bunches of mobs for quests, and brambles help it out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on a first look at Guardian Druids here in the Legion beta. And coming soon, I will definitely be doing a video on what it is like to get the claws. I'll re-roll a brand new Druid and do the artifact quest, and also the intro to Legion quest. At least on some kind of character, what it's like to go through that. So that'll be spoilers, obviously, but don't watch the video if you don't want spoilers. Take care, everybody.